The alien fleet appeared like a storm above Earth. Thousands of warships, shining black and red, filled the skies. Across the galaxy, news channels went live. Alien leaders stood proud on screens, smiling with cruel confidence. Earth has 5 hours left, one council general announced. Surrender or be destroyed. The Galactic Council laughed. To them, Earth was weak, a young planet with no real power. Billions watched as Earth gave no reply. No missiles, no messages, just silence. But deep under the frozen ice of Antarctica, something had already started. Hidden for years, a black facility hummed with power. Inside, humans moved fast. No panic, just purpose. Satellite feeds blinked. Old systems turned green. A red button glowed on a large screen. General Lin.com and Steady looked around the command room. Is the Phoenix online? He asked. Fully armed and standing by, replied a voice. Above, alien warships locked weapons on Earth's cities. They waited. 5 hours would be more than enough. Or so they thought then. Without warning, Earth's deep space radar vanished. Alien sensors glitched. Static replaced clear scans. Confused commanders tried to reconnect, but it was too late. Back in Antarctica, General Lin raised his hand. Around him, Earth's true defense team stood ready. Quiet, focused. He spoke one word. Begin. Far below, a massive countdown screen lit up. But this was no timer for Earth's defeat. This was the countdown for Earth's counterstrike. And while the galaxy watched and laughed, they never saw the storm rising behind the silence. Alien commanders stared at their screens. Earth still hadn't responded. No surrender, no threats. Nothing. One of them scoffed. Primitive creatures don't even understand war. But then one of their ships exploded. From the inside, and Earth was still silent. Story. The alien fleet floated like giants in the sky, waiting for Earth's reply. On board the alien command ship, Admiral Exer paced in frustration. It had been over an hour. Still no answer from Earth. Perhaps they've already given up, one officer said. But something didn't feel right suddenly. Lights blinked across. The command deck, a message flashed in red. Ship 17, lost contact. Then a loud boom shook the entire fleet. One of their own cruisers turned into a ball of fire and metal. It hadn't been hit from outside. It had detonated from within. Alarms screamed. Emergency messages poured in. 3 more ships reported sabotage. Engines offline. Crew missing. Internal defenses turned against them. How? Admiral Exer shouted. No human has boarded us. But he was wrong. Back on Earth, deep in an underground base. Captain Maya watched the screen with calm eyes. Phase 1 complete, her team leader said. She nodded. Good, they won't laugh long. A week before the alien fleet arrived, Earth had already infiltrated them. Using stolen tech, human special forces had boarded alien ships. While they were still preparing for war, silent, invisible, patient, and now. Earth's silence wasn't weakness, it was the signal to strike. One by one, the fleet's systems failed. Weapons jammed, lights flickered. Airlocks opened at the wrong time. Back in orbit, Admiral Exer whispered, we're not fighting a primitive race. We're fighting ghosts. But they weren't ghosts. They were humans and they had just started the real war. Inside the alien flagship, alarms screamed. Fire broke out in the engine room. Security bots shut down one by one. Then a human voice echoed through the corridors, you should have never come here. Seconds later, the entire ship vanished in a silent white explosion. Story. The alien flagship, Vorak Prime, was the pride of the fleet 3 kilometers long, armed with plasma cannons and a shield that could stop asteroids. No species had ever breached it until now. At 2:17 galactic time, lights began flickering inside the flagship. Communication with lower decks cut off. In the central command room, Admiral Exer stared at the chaos unfolding on every screen. He yelled, no answer. On Deck 19, a small team of humans moved like shadows. Their suits blended with the walls. Their weapons made no sound. They placed small devices at key systems, engines, navigation, weapons core. Sergeant Leon checked his timer, 2 minutes until detonation. Then a voice came over their comms. Command confirms Phase 2, extract or finish the job. Leon looked at the alien bridge through a sealed door. He saw fear in their eyes. He smiled. Let's finish it. As they planted the final charge near the ship's power core, an alien security team finally caught up. Shots were fired. 2 humans went down. The others pushed forward. Go! Leon shouted. He stayed behind to cover the exit, back in orbit. The alien fleet watched in confusion as their flagship powered down. No shields, no response, just silence. Then came a short message on every alien screen, no video, only audio. This is your warning. Leave Earth or disappear. A white flash lit up the darkness. The Vorak Prime was gone. In Earth's command center, General Lin stood over the hologram of the alien fleet. 3 down, he said quietly. A commander next to him nodded. And they still think we're just defending. General Lin turned. No, we're hunting. Alien commanders laughed when they finally saw Earth's warships. Old designs, outdated engines. No real threat. But then, one Earthship vanished from its position and reappeared inside the alien fleet formation. It wasn't an accident. It was war. Story from the Council's control tower on the moon of Veraxis. Alien generals observed Earth's fleet for the first time. One said, pointing at the display. Rust buckets held together by hope. Another laughed. Let's crush them and be done with it. On screen, Earth's ships looked slow and small. They weren't sleek like the alien destroyers. They weren't even visible on thermal scans until one of them moved. The ship, named EHS Revenant, was Earth's oldest battlecruiser, built in secret, fueled by something never used before. Inside the Revenant, Captain Rika adjusted her gloves. This will work, she said to her crew. Even if we only get one shot, Warp Core V9 is unstable, her engineer warned. No one's tested this in a real battle. Rika smiled. Then, we'll test it now. The ship powered up. Alien sensors picked up a strange signal, then lost it. One moment, the Revenant was at the edge of Earth's fleet. The next, it had blinked straight into the heart of the enemy armada. The aliens panicked. How did they get inside our formation? The Revenant fired. Not missiles, not lasers. Something else. A disruptor wave that shut down the targeting systems of 5 nearby alien ships. Instantly, inside one disabled vessel, crew members screamed as their screens went black. Doors sealed. Engines failed. On board the Revenant, Captain Rika whispered, "This is what outdated looks like." When humans upgrade it, alien fleets scrambled to retarget. But the Earth ship vanished, a Gannet warped out mid-battle. Earth hadn't just built ships. They had built ghosts, silent, deadly, and faster than any known enemy tech dot in the Antarctic base. General Lin watched the footage. "We only need one ship," he said. "Just one. In the right place, at the right time." And now the aliens realized something terrifying. They couldn't predict Earth anymore. The aliens chose a small city to make an example. No army, no weapons, just civilians. They thought it would be easy. But when they landed, their soldiers vanished one by one, and the city lights spelled a chilling message. Welcome to Earth. Story. The alien cruiser Zarkanine descended toward Earth, heading straight for a peaceful coastal city called Red Wind. It had no military base, no defense towers, just families, schools, parks. The perfect place for the aliens to show Earth what fear looked like. Crush their spirits, the alien commander said. Start here. Troops landed. Streets were empty. It was too quiet. No resistance. One alien officer asked. Then came the first trap. A fake power box exploded, sending 3 soldiers flying. Another stepped on the road and vanished into a sinkhole lined with steel spikes. From a rooftop, a small drone flew silently, recording everything. In a hidden basement, a group of teenagers watched the feed. "They're here," said 16-year-old Aiden, loading a homemade EMP blaster. "Let's begin." All across the city, Redwind's citizens, construction workers, engineers, even children had turned their home into a trap. They had trained in secret, they had prepared, and they weren't afraid. An alien squad entered a library. The doors slammed shut behind them. Gas poured in harmless but blinding. Then came the flashbangs. Then came the humans. Outside, alien commanders panicked. They had lost contact with 30 soldiers in 12 minutes. Civilians weren't supposed to fight like this, but Red Wind wasn't weak. It was Earth's first line. In orbit, Admiral Exor yelled, "Where is the local resistance leader?" A new signal appeared. Grainy footage of a teenage girl standing atop a building. She looked straight into the drone camera and said, "You wanted a message? Here it is. This is Earth. Every city fights." Then the transmission cut on the screen. Behind her were glowing red letters. "Welcome to EARTH in Earth's Command Center." General Lin smiled. They picked the wrong city to scare. His aide nodded, and now they're the ones afraid. The Council had enough. They sent a second wave 1,000 ships to crush Earth. They entered warp space with full power. But halfway through their jump, the fleet began to vanish. No wreckage, no distress signals, just silence. Earth hadn't just prepared for war, they had turned space itself into a weapon. Story: the Alien Council held an emergency meeting. Screens showed fire across the sky, reports of ambushed troops and destroyed ships. "They are just one planet," one counselor roared. "Send the reinforcement armada. Erase them." The council agreed. 1,000 warships, the largest response force in the galaxy. Jumped into warp. It should have taken 2 minutes to reach Earth, but 42 seconds into the jump, the lead ship disappeared. Then the next 10, then 50. Inside warp space, the remaining ships saw strange flashes, flickering shadows, gravitational pulls that weren't supposed to exist. There are ... mines in warp space. They're bending the jump lanes. Impossible. No species had ever weaponized warp, but Earth had. Back on Earth, deep in a space-controlled bunker, Commander Vega grinned. "Project Phantom Grid activated," she said. "We call it phishing. Using thousands of stealth drones and fake warp markers, humans had remapped sections of space and turned them into deadly traps. Alien ships were being redirected mid-jump, straight into black holes, asteroid fields, or worse, right back. To Earth's orbital cannons, alien survivors screamed for help. But Earth had already jammed their communications. On a small rocky moon, an alien frigate emergency dropped out of warp. Its crew stepped out only to find human soldiers already waiting for them. General Lin's voice echoed over the enemy's emergency signal. "You thought space belonged to you. Now it belongs to us." The remaining alien ships turned back. More than 600 had vanished without firing a shot. For the first time, the council didn't speak. They stared at the screen in horror. They sent reinforcements, but what they got back was a message carved into a captured hull. "Next time, bring more." An alien commander opened Earth's ancient war records. He saw fire, blood, and battles fought even when defeat was certain. "No species fights like this," he whispered. Because what aliens feared most, humans had already survived. Story: the Alien Council was shaken. Ships gone, troops lost, and worst of all, Earth was still quiet. No victory speech, no threats. Just action, desperate. The Council sent a special commander, Vorax, the historian, a leader known for studying his enemies before destroying them. He didn't go to Earth with weapons. He went with data. Vorax requested Earth's historical archives. The Council laughed at his plan, but he insisted. What he found chilled him to his core. World wars, bombs dropped on cities, disease, famine, ice ages, planet-wide disasters, genocides, civil wars, machines rising, machines falling, civilizations dying and coming back stronger again and again. Earth was pushed to the edge of extinction, but they never stopped fighting. Vorax watched old Earth footage, grainy, black and white, of soldiers charging through fire. Civilians, making weapons in underground bunkers. He finally said, "They are born from it." Back in orbit, alien soldiers reported something strange. Human troops didn't panic when outnumbered. They fought smarter, dirtier, harder. They used war not as a weakness, but as a weapon. On the battlefield, human troops quoted history. "This is nothing compared to Stalingrad. Remember the Alamo." They thought the Spartans would fall too. Aliens didn't understand, because humans didn't fight for orders. They fought for each other, for survival. For memory, General Lin stood before his troops and said, "They study our weapons, but they don't study our hearts." That's where they'll lose. The aliens brought lasers and shields. Humans brought a legacy of survival. And in the end, that was deadlier than any cannon. An alien patrol ship captured a human child. She didn't cry, she didn't speak, she smiled. Then the ship's lights turned red, doors locked, engines failed, and one word flashed across every screen. Checkmate. Story. Above a scorched moon, alien troops captured a human escape pod. Inside was a girl no older than 10. She wore no armor, no weapons, just a quiet smile. The alien captain scoffed. Pathetic. She'd give us intel. But as they brought her aboard, strange things began to happen. The ship's lights dimmed. Navigation systems glitched. Strange code appeared on the main screen symbols no alien had seen before. Suddenly, the girl spoke. "You should have left us alone." The captain laughed. "What could a child do?" She looked at the ship's walls and whispered, "Everything." In Earth's hidden mountain base. Scientists watched the scene through the girl's contact lens. Dr. Rami, head of Project Echo, nodded. "Signal is strong. Activate protocol. Mirror." You see, the girl wasn't just a child. She was part of a secret program, Neuralink warfare, trained from birth. Her mind was synced with Earth's quantum AI. She didn't hack the ship. She became it on board. The alien crew screamed as doors slammed shut, engines overheated. The ship's own weapons turned inward. Then all screens displayed her face size glowing with digital code. Goodbye. The ship exploded silently in the void. Across the galaxy, other AI attacks began. Alien databases wiped. War plans erased. Council meetings interrupted by human laughter and a single phrase, "You're not fighting an army. You're fighting our mind." Back on Earth, General Lin spoke to the Council through a stolen satellite. "We built our strength with muscle. We won with memory. Now we take your future with intelligence." The aliens had shields, but Earth had brains born for survival and raised in war. And now, the galaxy was being rewritten one hacked ship at a time. The alien fleet regrouped. They still had numbers, still had power. But Earth activated something never seen before Project Eclipse, and suddenly, half the stars went dark. In the silence that followed, the galaxy realized this wasn't Earth's last move. It was its first story. The Council gathered its final forces. Over 2,000 ships, a wall of firepower stretching from one planet to the next. "Humans have pushed too far," said Supreme Commander Tharn. "This ends now." Earth saw the fleet coming. They didn't panic, they waited. At midnight, General Lin stood inside a giant control chamber buried beneath the Andes Mountains. He pressed a key and whispered, "Eclipse online." In orbit, Earth's hidden satellites came alive black orbs with strange energy fields. They didn't fire missiles. They didn't need to. They simply turned off the light. Every star in a 12-sector range vanished. Alien ships lost power, weapons jammed, sensors failed. They were floating in a sea of blackness with no direction and no control inside the alien command ship. Chaos erupted. "Where are we? I can't see the other fleets. Targeting is dead," one captain screamed. "They've blacked out space." But Earth hadn't just blinded them. They had made them deaf. No communication. No escape. And then came the final move. Human ships, small, silent. Invisibles slipped through the dark and picked off alien vessels, one by one. No light, no warning, just sudden silence. As more red dots vanished from the map inside the void, one alien admiral heard the words over his cum. "This is your eclipse. This is your ending." Back on Earth, General Lin spoke calmly into the open channel. "You gathered your strength in the light. We built ours in the dark." That night, the galaxy looked toward Earth, not with anger, but with fear. They thought Earth had been cornered. But Earth had just cast its shadow. The Council tried to open peace talks. Their voice trembled. Their fleets were gone. But Earth didn't reply. Instead, a single human ship entered the skies, over their capital, and broadcast one final message. "We don't start wars. We end them." Story. The Galactic Council chamber was nearly empty. Most leaders had fled. The rest waited in silence, staring at the transmission lines, hoping, praying, Earth would accept surrender. From across the stars, the voice of General Lin came through steady. "No need for talks," he said. "It's already over." Above the Council's homeworld, a single human dreadnought floated in the clouds. It didn't fire, it didn't move. But its presence said everything. Humanity hadn't just survived, they had taken control. The alien empire that once ruled, half the galaxy now stood in shock, unable to fight, unable to speak. On Earth, no parades marched, no celebrations filled the streets. Humans didn't rejoice in destruction, they had defended their home, and then walked away. In the council chamber, a screen lit up one last time. A message scrolled in simple words. "You gave us hours to fall. We only needed minutes to rise." One by one, alien governments surrendered not because they were forced, but because they had seen something terrifying. A race that would not stop. A species that fought with memory, minds, machines, and something far stronger. General Lin stood before the Earth Assembly and spoke softly. "We didn't want war, but now they'll never forget what happens when they bring war to Earth." And somewhere across the stars, a young alien whispered the words they would teach in every school, in every world, from that day forward: never give humans a countdown. Let me know if you'd like thumbnail and background image prompts for any parts, a full series description for YouTube, a short trailer script for your channel intro,